What's happening, guys? It's your girl Mina. Welcome back to my channel. You guys already know what it is. I had a bit of dust on my head straight from stream to stream. You guys know the vibe. We're here to talk about, obviously, Wigan fixture tomorrow. I already gave a little bit of my thought regarding the game. But we're going to talk about that and obviously get involved in the comments below. And we're going to talk about some transfer wrap-up for the week, just across the entire Premier League, because I'm seeing a madness. I'm seeing a madness happening with certain clubs going for certain players. And I'm really interested to see how some of that will work out. But in terms of Manchester United, I'm going to start with the most recent news. Was not most recent, but it came out today, obviously. It's no secret, firstly, that United are looking at a striker to promoting. I'm seeing Guirassy. And obviously, it's likely that Anthony Martial could move on as well. You know what, guys? Have no expectations. That's it. That's all I have to say. Just have no expectations when it comes to this summer transfer window and United bringing in anybody possibly. Timo Werner is an interesting one because I genuinely feel like he will work well in the Spurs system. Hasn't been the most clinical in front of goal, but I think he creates space for his teammates. And right now, what United need, in my humble opinion, guys, United need a goal scorer. I saw Louis Saha talking to French press saying that United should go for Karim Benzema. I wouldn't be against it. I would not be against it, guys. I actually wouldn't be against it. If you would, let me know in the chat if you lot would be against the idea of Karim Benzema and Manchester United. Of course, it kind of goes. I'll be a hypocrite, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I would be a hypocrite if I say, oh, we should go for Karim Benzema when I've just been saying all this time that we need to move away from, old players, etc. But in terms of Karim Benzema, Ballon d'Or goal scorer, listen, that Karim Benzema, yeah. The first year when Cristiano Ronaldo left Real Madrid, not spoken about enough. Obviously, that's La Liga, different league, everything, younger as well. But even his time, Champions League, when he won the Ballon d'Or, guys, anybody who would be up against the idea of a Karim Benzema if he's fit, experienced goal scorer. When you're talking to me about experienced goal scorers, that's what we're talking about. Karim Benzema. Of course, his salary will probably be a madness. And obviously, this is just hypotheticals, yeah? But on a loan for 4 or 5 months, who says no? Honestly, please let me know who says no, because if you say no, I'm going to send you the link for you to jump into the stream, because I want to know why you say no. From a goal scoring perspective, from the kind of player that he is. Listen, big up to everyone in the chat. You guys know what it is. A lot of you lot coming through from the United View stream. Listen, anything I said there, guys, it was my twin. It weren't me. It was my twin. Oh, you do not have a Patriot shirt on. Not going to lie, man. I've been a Patriot fan for like 11, 12 years. And I just dug this out of my cupboard today because Patriots have sucked for a minute. And I thought I might as well just wear it on stream. Big up to Riri in the chat. Big up to everyone. You lot know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button. Riri just did a madness and gifted 5 memberships. 5 memberships. Big up to Riri. That is appreciated. Where's the Wigan shirt, Mina? Should I get the Wigan shirt and show you lot? Why should? Firstly, it was a gift from a player that played for Wigan last season, who I was working with in a football capacity, and they gifted me a Wigan shirt. But if we lose tomorrow, yeah, I'm gonna have to send it back to him. I'm gonna be like, here, take your shirt. It was signed and everything, and I was gonna put it in a frame with a bunch of other shirts that I've been, that I've gotten signed by players. But if we lose tomorrow, big if, I will fold it back. And I will message him. I say, brother, give me your address. I'm going to send it straight back. I'm going to send it straight back to him. The funny thing is, we need to see, then I need to get up and go to my cupboard and get it. You know what? If we hit a certain number of likes, then I'll do it. If we hit a certain number of likes, then I will go and bring it and I'll show you lot. Big up to Kuala, been a member for 2 months. Loyal. That's loyal right there. It says, Benzema, Muslim, Mina doing the PR. It's not a coincidence, because what? So what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say if I was sitting here defending another player, saying that we should sign, I don't know, Guirassy? Where is Guirassy from? Is he from Guinea? Is he from Mali? I ain't got no roots there. What are you gonna say? Because he's African, that I'm saying that we should. Okay, what if I'm sitting here saying, oh, United should sign Elise? What's the link there? We're both in the UK. What's the link there? Come on, be for real. Be for real. I do not encourage such propaganda that's being spread by Koala. I do not spread such propaganda. Wear it on stream as a forfeit if United lose. Nah, that's crazy. Oh, should I? I need to be careful what I get myself into, guys. Yeah. If we hit 50 likes on this video, if we hit 50 likes on this stream today, if United lose tomorrow, I will wear it on my post-match stream. That's a deal. That is an absolute deal. Are you doing a watch along? I haven't decided yet. Undecided. I am undecided. Big up to Red Scare. Claire says, Queen mean. Listen, guys, let's talk about the Wigan game because I was getting. Listen, was it unrealistic what I said? Not unrealistic, but was the logic not there for what I said about Wigan and United? Like, was the logic not there? Because I was just pointing out that Wigan have won the same number of games in League One that we have won in Premier League. Yes, the standards of the leagues are different. League One is League One. Premier League is more difficult, 100%. But we've been struggling to win games. I was looking at it from a numbers perspective, from a mathematic perspective. That's all. How are you gonna hold me to charges because I was doing mathematics? Guys, I got a B in GCSE maths, okay? I'm good at maths. What I'm not good at is logic. I'm joking. I'm good at logic as well. But I'm good at maths. I was just doing the maths. That's it. I was just being very harmlessly. I just said they've scored more goals in League One than we've scored in Premier League. Okay, it's difficult to score goals in Premier League. But we're Man United. I hate when people say that. Guys, by the way, yeah. I actually hate when people say something like, oh, we shouldn't be doing this or we shouldn't be doing that because we're Manchester United. I hate that. That logic is actually the most annoying possible logic at all. Like, you could say something like, I don't eat pineapple on my pizza because I support Manchester United. Come on. Like, what the hell does that mean? What? We're Man United. This and that, we're Man United. But honestly, guys, yeah, from you lot are getting on to me for my logic. You lot are getting onto me. Nah, your logic was there, but it's still a madness. You guys, I'm just trying to wind everyone up on United view. That's it. You know what? I just want to trigger KG. Did you guys see what I did? Did you lot see what I did? And I hope none of them are actually watching the stream right now. But I just threw a little something into the water, and I just stepped back and I just watched everything just go. That's what I want to do. That's my fun times on the full view. I enjoy obviously watching debates, and I enjoy watching everyone, I enjoy people getting their opinions across, doing it in a logical perspective, doing it in a passionate perspective, but I also like causing problems. And that's all I wanted to do today. I just threw a little something and everyone jumped on it. Me and John were just sitting back. John looked confused. And I was just like, yeah, this is what I want to see. I just want to see everyone arguing. That's it. And that's my favorite times on the full view. There's times I come on the full view, guys. I don't know if you lot realize, but there's times I come on and I'm just very quiet because I don't have much to say. There's times I come on and I go on passionate rants, and then there's times I come on and I just want to F shit up. That's it. That's all. And you know why? It's because we've not been doing the full view of recent, innit, on United Views. We had time off during the holiday period, etc. So I just want to just that's it. And I knew that the second that I brought up that Wigan logic, I knew that would trigger everyone. And I knew that the second that I brought up, if we lose to Wigan, guys, are you Ten Hag out? I knew that would trigger everyone, because one thing that you will never see is people just saying straight up, manager in, manager out. And I'm just trying to, that's it. That's it. Minute is a menace and enjoying placing KG back and forth. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much. Minute started the fight, then did one, basically. Exactly that. That's exactly what I did. And you know what? That was my absolute intention. That was absolutely my intention. But I just wanted a vibe. I just wanted to enjoy myself. You guys know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. You can join the membership club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get emoji, you get custom content, and obviously you get to support a soon-to-be full-time content creator. Yes, you get to support the growth of the channel. And someone actually asked on stream, someone asked on United View earlier, Mina, did your car pass its MOT? It's safe to say my car finally passed its MOT. But you know what didn't? My stupid camera, because it's moving for some reason. I don't know why. There you go. We're back. And then now I'm very, my camera's now high up. Make it make sense. This is the next thing that needs to pass its MOT, is my camera. But guys, my car passed its MOT after a lot of back and forth calls with my mechanic. Wasn't you supposed to do that months ago? Hey, it took a long time for the car to get fixed before it could pass the MOT. Like, that's the only explanation I could give you. Lot. There was some serious problems with the car, and I didn't realize it. I just drive my car. You lot know me, innit? I just turn the engine on. I go from point A to point B. My mechanic said to me, how have you not crashed? How have you not crashed driving this car? Because my car, basically, it used to do this one thing, yeah, where it leans to one side. But I just thought I just had to grip the steering wheel a bit harder. No, there was something wrong with the car. But I passed my MOT. Big up to my mechanic in it, because I know for a fact my mechanic's probably thinking, firstly, I'm going to make a lot of money off of this girl because she don't look after her car. And my mechanic is also probably thinking, this poor girl, she actually doesn't care for her car. I do care for my car. I love my car. It gets me from point A to point B. I could do nothing with. There's a lot of stuff I cannot do without my car. So when I didn't have a car, it was difficult. And you know what, guys? I found out mechanics make money. If I could go back, guys, I know this is a stream about football, and we are going to get to the football. We're going to get to the football stuff soon. But if I could go back, yeah, to when I was like 13, 14, I would do stuff like I would become a mechanic, because them man make money. The labor is crazy. Their labor, how much they charge for labor is nuts. This is why every mechanic, I'm not going to give away any secrets in case, HMRC is out here watching my streams, but them man make money, cash in hand, everything. I need to be a mechanic. And that might be what I do. That might be my New Year's resolution, is learn how to fix cars. It's bare physical labor though. Yeah, it is. I ain't got the patience for that. I'm not gonna lie. I don't really have. I don't have the patience for that. There's a lot of things that I would do if I could go back to 13, but one of them would definitely be becoming a mechanic, because them man make money. On the topic of money, let's talk about the transfer window. You like that little segue, guys? Let's talk about the transfer window, and obviously, let's actually start with non-Manchester United news. We're going to start with the non-Manchester United news, because it's funny. Arsenal lost, obviously, to Liverpool, blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff, yeah? But Mikel Arteta said something in his press conference after the game, yeah? And he said that it does not look realistic that they would go out and sign a striker in the January transfer window. Now, obviously, this is a club that a long time, for a minute now, they've been linked to a new striker, apparently is, and I think it's actually that piece that they need. I think there's other issues they have in their team, but I think they've got a lot of the key components for their squad. They got that back line, they got the DM, they got their Odegaard, they got Saka. I think they need that number 9. Obviously, Ivan Toney is one player that's been linked to them. I think Dominic Solanke, another guy that's been linked to them. He's saying it's not looking realistic, but I just think, if I'm being honest, I think he's just saying it. I think he's saying it because I don't see, unless Arsenal just see out the rest of the season. Champs, they got what? Porto in the Champions League, I think it is. They got Porto in the Champions League. After that, if they beat Porto, I don't know who they can possibly end up being drawn against. There's still a lot of other big clubs in the Champions League still. But from a logical perspective, I don't see how their season will play out. I don't see how their season will play out without a striker. Gabriel Jesus out injured today. That game was boring. Honestly, that was actually boring. I was watching it and playing COD at the same time because I was like, this is a dead game. It's not even worth. I'll give him my 100% attention. And you know what? Tomorrow, that might be the same thing that happens again. That actually, Man United versus Wigan could be another snooze fest. And I know, I'm sorry, guys. I know I said I was going to talk about the other teams before I start talking about United particularly. But one thing I will say, tomorrow versus Wigan, if we do not dominate the game, if we do not dominate possession, if we do not create hundreds of chances, if we don't have multiple goals, yeah, at what point do we start to say, what the hell is going on? I'm sorry, at what point do we question it? And obviously, this is just us talking about hypothetical situations, in terms of, you know, what could happen tomorrow. But isn't, you know, MK Dons, I'm sure that haunts me. So I'm sure that haunts a lot of you guys. I expect nothing more. 4-0, at least 3-0 tomorrow, at the minimum. At the minimum. That's what I expect. We're going out on pens. I swear, it's a replay if you draw. But even if we draw to Wigan, that is still ridiculous. That is still ridiculous. Because when I gave my logical perspective about the fact that they've won 10 games in their league and we've won 10 in ours, you know, if we go by that perspective, we should be smashing them. We should be smashing them. Even though they've clearly found the back of the net a lot more than us this season. They've leaked more goals than us this season, yes. So by that logic, we should be smashing them because Premier League, League One, yeah? I'm sorry, it's not acceptable. And the bar is on the floor when we talk about the manager because I want Ten Hag to turn it around. Can I just say that, yeah? I want Ten Hag to turn it around, but we can't look past some of the things he does or some of the things he says. I think if we look past it, then that's just us. It's an injustice to the squad, basically, and to the fans if we look past that stuff. Because tomorrow, I guarantee you, Scott McTominay will play. I think that the manager will go for a rotation squad tomorrow, not heavily rotated, but I think the squad will be somewhat rotated. Yeah, I would like to see Ahmad play. Yeah, I'd like to see him get a start because I think he has more to offer us than Anthony does. Yeah. But I think McTominay will play. I think the manager's going to play McTominay because McTominay is his guy. And also, his explanation for McTominay playing is also the fact that this is not a big opponent. So if you can't do it against Wigan, then who the hell can you do it against? No one. Who would be my starting 11 for tomorrow? My starting 11 for tomorrow would be, I would go all out strong. I'm not going to lie. I'm shameless like that. I would say let's go all out strong. But also I think that also speaks heavily on the fact that you do not trust young players or academy players or your backup players. Like that's what it just says. You don't trust them to do a job. In an ideal world, I would like to see, you know, some academy players playing. I would like to see, you know, the likes of, I'd like Dan Gore to start or maybe get a chance. Amad Diallo, I would like to see him play. Really and truly, we only have, 2 players that's gone to AFCON or going to AFCON. That's Amrabat and Onana. And Onana hasn't even gone yet. So I think that we still have a lot of our core players that are still here, that are available for the manager to pick. Amrabat going to AFCON, no offense, but I just think it makes a difference, but also it doesn't make a big difference because it's only 2 games he'll be gone for, so it doesn't make a big difference. But in terms of my starting 11, I would go strong back line. Goalkeeper, I would go with give Bayinda a chance, but we know that ain't gonna happen. We know that's not gonna happen. I'd go Ahmad on the right. I'd go Garnacho on the left. This idea about Pellistri, I think we need to let that ship sail. I think we need to let the ship of Pellistri kind of go. And if you let me know if you disagree, let me know if you don't, if you agree. But I think that idea of Pellistri, just let that ship sail because I don't think he's ever gonna play. I don't think he's good enough for what we think he is. I don't think he is what we think he is. I think that we look at Anthony, and anyone that comes in to replace him, we think that they're better than Anthony. But sometimes they might not even be better. But it's just because we don't think Anthony's good enough. I think Pellistri is a good player. I don't think he's the player that we need. I don't think he's the answer to the right hand side. I don't think at all. And you know, it's unfortunate because he's not got a fair run of games the way that, you know, maybe Garnacho has. But also that just shows that the manager had stocks in Garnacho coming from the academy to the first team than Pellistri. It's as simple as that. And if Pellistri does leave, I hope he succeeds. I hope he does well. But also, don't gaslight fans. Can I just say that? Don't gaslight each other if Pellistri leaves and does well and be like, oh, look what he could have been. Because he's doing it in a, I don't know, La Liga. Or he's doing it in a different league. Doesn't mean he could do it at United. It does not mean. And also, we've seen him start a few games this season and it's not been good. It's not been good. So we should have a honest, we should kind of be honest about that. I think we should be honest about that. He has to go all out strong. We ain't got nothing else. 100%. That's why I say that we should go with a strong lineup, because I look at this week and a lot of teams, like the big clubs, a few of them did play academy players, but I'm like, the only person that didn't really heavily rotate, I think it was Arsenal. If I'm not correct, Arsenal didn't heavily rotate their team. Let me just double check before I start spreading propaganda out there. Let me double check. I can't remember what their lineup was, but they went with what they could have, basically, which what allowed them to. They went pretty strong. And to be honest, Liverpool pretty much did too. They obviously had Kwanzaa in the back. They had Harvey Elliott starting. You lot know I'm a big fan of him and Curtis Jones as well. But they rotated 75th minute. They brought on young players in the 75th, 76th minute with Liverpool, whereas Arsenal didn't. Arsenal pretty much brought on all their senior players, Martinelli, Nketiah, Smith Rowe, Trossard, because FA Cup was something that they wanted, something that they wanted to fight for, something that they needed to fight for. So for us, we are in a similar boat. We don't have any other trophy outside of right now FA Cup. So if you're telling me there's a possibility by January that United are going to go trophyless throughout the entire season, who do you blame that on? Just putting that thought out there. Mike says Bayinda, Dalot, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Varane, Evans, Maino, Eriksen, Garnacho, Gore, Ahmad, Højlund is my 11. Heavily rotated team. That's a very heavily rotated team. I don't see Ten Hag going with that, if that makes sense. I don't see Ten Hag going with a heavily rotated team, because I feel like Ten Hag also believes that this is all or nothing, basically. This is basically all or nothing when it comes to some sort of silverware. I think if United continue the season the way it is, but they go on to, say, win the FA Cup, then Ten Hag kind of has that to stand on. He's got that leg to stand on. But if by January we're out of Carabao, out of Champs, out of FA Cup, and the top 4 race is literally a long one, the manager doesn't really have much to stand on. So I hope, for Ten Hag's sake, that he puts out a strong team. Would be a good team. This would actually be a good team. I think, that backline is quite solid, or should be a solid backline. My only concern is where the goals are going to come from. That's my only worry. Tomorrow, where the goals going to come from. I think, like we said, no disrespect to Wigan, but a team of Wigan's caliber, we should be putting 2, 3, 4 past them. But when we've not even been able to successfully identify where goals can come from throughout the season, that's my biggest worry. Obviously, I'd like to see Rashford hit the net a couple of times. I'd like to see Garnacho. I'd like to see Rasmus Højlund get something as well. But we're just talking about bare ifs, buts, maybes, guys. We're just talking about a whole load of if, buts, maybes. Koala says Anana, Dalot, Wan-Bissaka, Evans, Varane, Maino, Scott, Bruno, Garnacho, Højlund, Rashford. This is what I would expect if it was like a Premier League game. I think I'm at a point now where I don't want to see Scott McTominay in the lineup at all. Like, I'm at a point where Scott McTominay, for me, I do not want to see him in the line. 80th minute, if we're winning, bring him on. 80th minute, maybe if you're chasing a goal and you have no other options, okay, maybe that could work. And that's maybe, like, I'm saying it with like 1% of hope. But I'm at a point now where I do not want to see Scott McTominay in the lineup at all. At all. I don't care if it's Wigan away from home in the FA Cup. Don't care. I don't care if it's Spurs at home in the Premier League. I don't care. I mean, we've only got 2 games this month. So realistically, United can only disappoint us twice. Only being disappointed twice out of a 31-day month. It doesn't sound the worst, because we've had worse months, yeah? But hopefully, United could make our month even better and just win both games. Again, but bunch of if, buts, or maybes. But one thing I will say is that if Scott McTominay does play, I wouldn't go as far to say like this is his caliber of games, this is his standard. Playing Wigan, is his level. But if he does play and he does do the same stuff he's been doing, then who does the fault land on? Because it's the manager that selected him. And we're going to move away. I'm not joking. We're going to end up moving away from the whole players are down tooling to it's on the manager. Because it's the manager that's selecting him. Tomorrow we will be here. I guarantee you, yeah. Tomorrow we'll be here talking about McTominay's crap performance. And it will very much be like a back and forth of whose fault is it? Is it his fault or is it the manager's fault? Is it him that's not good enough? Why is the manager selecting him? It's the same conversations that we have over and over again. And we shouldn't even let it get to an opportunity. Yeah, I think we shouldn't allow it to get to an opportunity where he might possibly play. He's one of them players where Alanga last year, we always knew this guy weren't going to play. Why can't I get that same thing with McTominay? Why do I have to go into every game thinking, oh, McTominay might play this one, or he might play, the manager might play him, the manager might not. McTominay will score and we'll not talk about him. Even if he scores, I won't be like, oh, he's amazing, he's great, he's this, he's that, because we've had this conversation time and time again this season. We've had it last season, we've had it the season before, we've had it the season before that. All the time. We've had this conversation continuously. We've had it continuously. Get knocked out of the FA Cup so that we can focus on the league. 2 goals from McSauce incoming. Mike says Mina trying to start the same arguments on her own channel. Who am I going to argue with, guys? I'm just going to be looking right, arguing myself, looking left, arguing with myself. I'm not. United haven't made me that crazy yet for me to be arguing with myself on stream. But I'm just being honest. I'm just trying to be as honest as possible. I was gonna bring up the point. I wanted to revisit this point about Karim Benzema because I feel like a hypocrite, guys. And I said this earlier. I never finished the point, but I feel like a hypocrite saying that United should go for Karim Benzema, because isn't that what we are against when it came to the idea of Casemiro and Varane and, signing players that are past a certain point in their career? Because do you guys think it's a guarantee that Karim Benzema would come and F it up in the Premier League, score goals for us? Let me just quickly look at, because I'm not going to lie, I've not really been following the Saudi League like that this season. I've not really been following the Saudi League like that this season. I just want to see what his record is saying there. So he's got 12 goals and 5 assists in 20 games, which isn't too bad. It's not too bad. But he has had, I think, injury problems of recent. So he's missed quite a few games of recent for them with injury problems. He's scored. Yeah, it's no secret. Listen, it's no secret that he can score. Why would he come to United? Because United need a goal scorer. The most recent news I saw was not that United were looking to sign him, but it was just that it was a name up in the air by people suggesting that United should go for him, which I wouldn't be against it. Like I've told you guys, I wouldn't be against it. But the way that people have, like, it's kind of hypocritical, because I'm saying that we want a change in the structure of the team and the way that things run, but also let's go inside Benzema. It's a bit hypocritical, isn't it? It's a bit hypocritical. Let's be honest. It's a bit hypocritical. But from just the goals perspective, United need goals. And also, not just that, but one thing about him is that he can, drop deep, pick up the ball, create space, pick out passes, create chances. I don't know what would happen. And this is, again, I'm just literally I'm clutching onto straws here. This is all hypotheticals. I don't know what that would mean in terms of who would play between him and Rasmus Højlund, because last season, when we brought Wout Weghorst on a loan, Wout Weghorst was the starting striker game in, game out. I don't know what that means between him and Højlund. I'm talking about Benzema, by the way. But it's something that I wouldn't think is the worst thing. However, one thing I will say is that that's another, like, a big name signing. That's a big name signing that we need to move away from. Shirt seller, sorry, a commercial one. I'm just, again, hypotheticals, because I'm looking at the market, and guys, the players that United are linked to, it just makes me sad. It actually just makes me sad, because all of them are loan signings, firstly, which I get it. If there's not someone out there that's worth signing in the January window, okay, cool. But it's not even that. It's the fact that United ain't even got money like that to be signing people in the January transfer window. But the strikers we've been linked to, Choupo-Moting, Timo Werner, that's gone. That's moved. That ship has sailed. Who else? Thomas Muller, another player that we've been linked to. Obviously, Anthony Martial might be leaving. Fenerbahce are looking to strengthen their squad and are looking to submit an offer of around 6.8 million. This is the Toney Martial, came from France. English press said he had no chance. 50 million down the drain. Toney Martial scores again. That guy that we made that chant for and singing it around Old Trafford. I used to love when I played FIFA, guys, and I'd score with Martial, and that song, like, the crowd would be singing it in the game. Now we're looking to sell him for about 7 million. 7 million. I mean, at least you can get money for him. But 7 million. I saw United are also possibly, and also, guys, let's take a lot of it with a pinch of salt, yeah? Let's take it with a pinch of salt, because a lot of the people reporting this is like Daily Mail, The Sun, Daily Express. But of course, this is the things that make the front pages on things like Sky Sports and etc. Ryan Sessegnon, that kid from Spurs. I didn't even know he still played for Spurs, honestly, because I ain't seen him for so long. But that's another player that, you know, United are looking at in terms of the summer transfer window. And this is what's annoying, because what's that guy on Sky called? What's his name? Let me pronounce it properly. Darmish Seth said that clubs in Saudi Arabia, as well as Turkish club Fenerbahce, are looking to sign Martial. Yeah. Martial is free to talk to clubs outside of England, having entered the final 6 months of his contract. Of course, we know that United are not triggering the 1-year extension, so essentially he'll leave on a free in the summer if they don't sell him. It's thought that United have been offered a number of strikers, obviously including Bayern Munich's Eric Choupo-Moting, and they're possibly looking to sign a striker. Again, I think a lot of it kind of also relies on the Jadon Sancho thing. I don't think, in my opinion, that a lot of stuff will be happening in terms of a striker coming in until this Jadon Sancho thing is, until it's solved, until he moves on to Borussia Dortmund on a loan. I think that is also, there's no obligation to buy. So United are often essentially just trying to increase Jadon Sancho's value. But I want to know where you lot stand, because I've seen this topic. I've had this conversation with people as well. Where do you lot stand in terms of Jadon Sancho going to Germany on loan, coming back next in the summer, if the manager is not at the club anymore? Do you think that Jadon Sancho should get a shot in the first team again? Because I'm in two ways about it. I'll be honest, guys. I'm in two ways about it. I think, number one, if he whether the manager is here or not, Sancho has to apologize for the way that he's conducted himself over the last however many months it's been. At that point, it'll be basically a year by the time it gets to summer. Sancho has to apologize because he's let a lot of fans down. I think he's, let a lot of fans down with just the way that he's kind of conducted himself, this stubbornness. But also, I think, well, if the manager's gone and he's had a good loan spell, would you look at it and be like, okay, well, this is basically like having a new signing all over again? Or would it be, I know it's a bunch of hypotheticals, but I think it's a situation that could happen. It's a situation that could happen. I think it sets a bad precedent if he comes back and stays, if the manager's gone, because it's basically like it's basically saying you can disrespect the manager. If you go out and have a good loan spell and the manager's gone, don't worry, you still get a shot. I think that's kind of disrespectful to the club rather than just the manager. I think it's disrespectful to the club. In an ideal world, this whole situation wouldn't have happened. It would have been the manager said what he said, Sancho said what he said. They would have had a conversation behind closed doors, apologized. Yeah, apologies would have been given. Sancho would have come out, clarified his statement, apologized for, pointing out that statement. But that never happened because it's not an ideal world. Yeah. But if Sancho can go out and have a good loan spell, and it seems like at Dortmund there's kind of structure that surrounds how to deal with Jadon Sancho. I saw a report that suggested that they had certain things implemented in the club to try get the best out of him, and to ensure that you're basically babying a grown man, to ensure that he came to training on time, and to ensure that he wasn't late on match days and whatnot. And they even said that in this report, I can't remember where I read this report, but this report suggested that basically the manager at the time was hoping that Sancho would be around Haaland a bit more, and so that the professionalism kind of rubs off on him. And for me, that's interesting, because you look at Dortmund and you look at the players that they've had, if we just look at Sancho, Haaland, Bellingham. Sancho, for me, was probably the one that I had the highest hopes for, because at Bellingham going to Dortmund, we knew what he was going to be. Haaland going to Dortmund, we already knew what he was going to be. Haaland was effing it up already, before he joined Dortmund. Sancho is kind of like, what's that saying, that the rose that grew from stone, or something like that. He's kind of like the flower that grew out of stone, where you didn't know what you were getting with him at Dortmund, but when he kind of settled into the league, and he kind of settled in to kind of the playing style and adapted to the team he was playing with, he was good. He was a monster. He was amazing. A pleasure to watch. So I think with Sancho, it's just unfortunate with the way that situation has panned out. But talking from a perspective of where do we go next after the loan spell, it's interesting, because I've seen a lot of people. I've seen arguments for both sides. I've seen arguments for if he has a good loan spell, let him have a shot at United, even if the manager's not here anymore. And then I've seen the argument, well, if he's had a good loan spell and the manager's gone, still sell him. And I think I'm at a point now where with Jadon Sancho, I'm like, just sell him. Just, whether he has a good season or not, or a good loan spell, or not, just sell him in the summer transfer window, get his value obviously as high as possible, probably make a loss on what we brought him for. But I would rather, if Erik ten Hag leaves, I'd rather that the next manager comes in, has one less player inherited from a different manager, if that makes sense. Because it seems like United are rotating every 3 years, new manager every 2, 3, 4 years. So the manager is inheriting a bunch of players from different managers. I hope I'm making sense. Let me see what the chat is saying. I hope I'm making sense. Imran says maybe Sancho will play for United under Graham Potter. Mike says get him gone even if Erik ten Hag goes. Riri says Sancho has to go. His behavior is unacceptable. No player is bigger than any club. And I agree. I think that's the stance that I'm kind of at, where no player is kind of bigger than the club. And we shouldn't allow that to kind of be the case. Jadon Sancho is just another unfortunate event in terms of the fact that we spent an entire year like when United signed him, we actually started talks with Borussia Dortmund the summer before that. And it took a whole year for them to agree, because obviously they wanted a big fee for him. And, you look at what played out since Sancho has come in, and people have been behind him. I think the first year, I even said it myself. I said the first year that he was at United, it was kind of like a shit show. Why's my sister calling me when she knows I'm on stream? Yo. Yo. Okay, but I'm on stream. What's the question? Okay. Okay, bye. My sister just called me, guys, because if you guys don't know, in my family, put it on speaker. I would never do that, first and foremost. I have a thing, guys. I have unusually good memory. I remember the most randomest details of, like, I could tell you, like, if you said to me a random day, like 4 years ago on a Thursday, I could tell you what you was wearing. So my sister just called me and wanted to ask me something that happened. And she said, call me back after your stream. But also, guys, if family call me when I'm on stream, I'll always pick up. I apologize for that. We're going to get back into the Jadon Sancho discussion, of course. Big up to Hasnain with the super chat. Says, hi, it's Usman. Big up to Usman. I hope you're doing well. Says, keep up the good work. What score do you think tomorrow's game is going to be? I think it's going to be 3-0 United. I think. But also, that's me predicting a score that I haven't predicted before this season. It seems like whenever I predict United to win, we lose. So maybe I should say United's going to lose and then we might win. But I'm hoping it's going to be 3-0 because it's Wigan, it's League One. If we put out a strong team, then there's no reason why we shouldn't win. There's no reason why we shouldn't win. Crafty Skills says, I want him to stay. He's only 23. He just got to man up. Litata says, how did Sancho disrespect the club, please? Do you not think what he's done has been disrespectful? Like, and guys, this, by the way, this is an open floor to everyone in the comments. I genuinely want to know what your opinion is. Do you think it's the way that this situation has panned out? I think the only thing that's frustrated me is that I wouldn't say he's disrespected the club. I'd say he's disrespected. He's let the fans down. But also, it's one of them ones where, you know, the fan base are always going to be divided on opinion. I think the fan base will always be divided on opinion. And, you know, if you're trying to, as a manager, if you're trying to control the dressing room, then you have to put out these little fires. And this is just one of it. I think let's be honest, guys. Let's be for real. What Erik ten Hag said was not wrong. He was asked a question and everyone's saying he should lie for him in the media. Then when it comes to like 3, 4, 5 matches down the line, when Sancho is still not in the match day squad, and we're thinking, okay, you know, how long is he out with illness? How long, you know, it's been 5 games. Why is he still out with illness? All the manager said was, he's not been training well. That's it. And I feel like, you know, it's one of them ones, yeah. This is a stupid analogy, but if you are an ethnic person, you will understand this reference, yeah. Has your room ever been messy, yeah? And you just can't be bothered to clean it up as a kid, yeah? Teenager, whatever, early teens, whatever. Not as an adult, because if your room's messy as an adult, then I don't know what to say. But if you're a kid and a teenager and your room's been messy and your mum or dad says to you, I'm going to bring your cousins over so that they can see how your room looks. Isn't that embarrassing? You're going to quickly clean up and you're going to be like, no, don't do that. I don't want to be embarrassed. I feel like that's what Ten Hag was trying to do. Ten Hag was trying to make an example or say to Sancho, like, indirectly, if you don't fix up, I'm going to tell people the truth. And Ten Hag probably didn't anticipate that he'd clap back. I don't think Ten Hag anticipated that Sancho was going to clap back. And from then on, Ten Hag, unfortunately, I feel like this is a situation where players are looking at him in a way that, okay, you've banished him from the first team, banished him from training, banished him from the canteen. My guy's training with under 18s. I don't even know if he's training with under 18s, but he's been banished from all training. He's been banished from everything to do with first team. He's not even allowed to come watch the games. So he's out on a Saturday morning watching the under 18s play instead, yeah? And on top of that, the first team are not playing well. So Erik ten Hag is in a situation where he's like, you know, the players are looking at Ten Hag like, okay, well, you've done all of this to Sancho, where you're making an example out of him, but you ain't really done much. You ain't really done much to turn it around because we're still struggling. And I feel like it's a thin line for the players. I feel like it could be a thin line because, you know, when it happened with Ronaldo overstepped a boundary, but Ronaldo had a leg to stand on, yeah? Ronaldo had a leg to stand on. Why? Because he's Cristiano Ronaldo. Multiple Ballon d'Ors, multiple Champions League, multiple league titles, you know? He had a lot of accolades. So he had a leg to stand on. The only thing that Ronaldo did wrong was he went to, he refused to come on when the manager tried to bring him on for a few minutes before the end of the game. That was number one. Then he went to Piers Morgan, did a sit-down interview, a tell-all interview with him, and basically put everything on blast. And I think that was an easier thing for the players to get behind because, you know, it was more of a public thing. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm making sense. Big up to Red Scare Claire, the newest member of the community. Big up. You get to use your emojis. You get a nice little emoji next to your name as well. If you guys want to, just like Red Scare Claire, you can join the membership club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, and you get a lot of custom member content. The content is going to be content in this week or in the coming weeks. I've got a lot of things coming up and I'm really excited to be doing a lot of content. That's all I have to say. I don't want to give away too much. That's all. I don't want to give away too much. But Like I said, if you want to join a membership club, you can. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get badges, you get emojis, a lot of emojis as well, and you get custom member content, and you get to support the growth of this channel as a content creator. It's not easy, guys. It is not easy, so it's always appreciated as well. Super Scud says Ten Hag gave Sancho the carrot last season with the trip to the mountains, and now he tried the stick by calling him out, and it backfired. It's basically what parents do to you. It kind of supports my analogy. It's like your parents will try to tell you what to do. You don't listen. They'll try to help you, blah, blah, blah. Then they'll just try to shame you. Because Sancho came late to training many times, according to Nemanja Matic, who ain't even a Man United employee anymore. So there's no agenda. Was that an old interview when Nemanja Matic said that? I just wanna double check, because I do remember those quotes about Sancho, and he spoke about Sancho, and I think it was Pogba. Pogba was a name that came up, but was it an old interview? I don't know if it was an old interview or a recent one, but no, actually, if it was an old interview. But I'm gonna mention quickly what Nemanja Matic said, in case if some of you guys are not aware of it. He suggested that Jadon Sancho and Paul Pogba were always late to Man United training during his time at the club, and he suggested that there were low standards amongst the players. He was speaking in an interview, so it wasn't actually an old interview; it is a recent one. He said, "At Chelsea, players acted professionally; they were punctual and never late for training. But at United, it happened almost every day. Among the players who would always be late were Paul Pogba and Jadon Sancho and a couple other players. The rest of us who were always on time were angry, so we decided to form a kind of internal disciplinary committee with me serving as its president." So he basically, when Africans just elect themselves as the president of a country, it's wrong, but Nemanja Matic does it and it's fine. Anyways, I put a sheet of paper up on the wall where I documented the names of individuals arriving late. During one particular season, we collected around 75,000 in fines. We had planned to use the money to throw a party in London, but we didn't due to the COVID outbreak. Spending 75,000 on a party, bro, that's mad. That is crazy. Sancho faced similar accusations during his time at Dortmund, and he remains banished from United's first team. And obviously, all Ten Hag said was one line on his performance on training: "We didn't select him." That's literally all he said. That's all literally he said. And you know what? I would love if a reporter maybe did a documentary or something about the standards, how different the standards are in academies, because I feel like in first team there should be standards applicable across the entire board of first team football, across whatever league you're in. But I feel like some of this stuff is kind of drilled into you from an academy level, because I interviewed a player once, and I think I mentioned it here on the channel. I interviewed a player once that played for the Chelsea academy, a good friend of mine, playing now in Saudi. And basically we spoke about how important the Chelsea academy was for him in terms of nurturing him as a professional. And he said, like, from day one, when you enter that academy, and he joined, I think, at the age of 10 or 11, he said it's ingrained into you that, you know, you need to be a professional. We're here to win. And that's why he, in particular, was part of a very successful Chelsea academy team that won quite a lot of stuff. I think they won the UEFA Youth Cup, etc. Played with a lot of these players that are now playing in bigger leagues: Mason Mount, Chalobah, who else? Tomori, Hudson-Odoi. Who else is it? There's quite a lot of them that came from that kind of thing. So I feel like a big part of it is also what's instilled into your brain from an academy level, from young, basically. That's just my opinion. If you were fans, you would understand where Sancho's coming from. Koala's saying we're not fans, basically. Anthony, Garnacho, and Rashford have the right to stink the place out, but Sancho is the one who's held to a high standard to the rest. I think this is unfair. I think this is unfair. I think this is unfair. I think this is unfair because all three players that have been named, and I know Koala's a troll, guys. Yeah, if you lot are new to the channel, Koala's a troll. But one thing I will say is that those three players that have been named there have been ripped apart. I made a short about Garnacho like a couple months ago. Yeah, people came back to the short last month just to be like, "Oh, what are you saying now about Garnacho? What are you saying now?" Just because I said he's got a high ceiling, that's it. I just said he had a high ceiling, and it's an exciting time to watch him at Manchester United. Anthony has been ripped game after game after game by fans. Like, let's cut this bullshit out, guys. Excuse my language, but let's cut it out and let's be legit here. Rashford has been ripped apart all season. Even last season, until about the December, January, Rashford was criticized. Sancho, for me, is just one of those situations where it's very unfortunate. I genuinely think it's an unfortunate situation that has panned out, that, you know what, it's just better to part ways. But let's not say, oh, Sancho is held to a high standard, whereas the rest aren't. Because that's not true. I think all players are held to a high standard at the club. I think all of them are. And all of them are rightly criticized. Sometimes some more than others. I'll be honest, sometimes some more than others. But I think this Jadon Sancho situation is a perfect example of something that when the club just buy a player for whatever reason, there's no logical perspective. United wanted a right winger. Jadon Sancho has said time and time again he prefers to play on the left. So why are you signing him? Jadon Sancho has said it time and time again. He likes to play on the left. But United went out and signed him. Like, let's not be, what's the word? I forgot what the term is called. I was going to say revisionism. I think it is. Revisionism is the term. Sancho is ungrateful. He was given 3 months to come back to the team. Ten Hag gave him time, but he thought he was some king here. Some fans want players to go, but are feeling bad for Sancho. I think, firstly, one thing I will say, if your player is struggling, yeah, I will be very honest. If your player is struggling mentally, and to a point where they can't even come out and do their day job, they can't come out and play football because mentally they are struggling, it's your job as a manager to support them. It's your job as a club to support them. So let's not say, Ten Hag gave him time. Ten Hag did what he had to do. Because if Ten Hag didn't do that and it came out later, whether it's 2, 3, 4 years from now, that Jadon Sancho was struggling mentally and Ten Hag basically kicked him to the curb, demoted him from the first team, yeah, I would look at Ten Hag sideways. So let's not act like Ten Hag did something that was out of the ordinary. As a human, Ten Hag did what's right. Your player is struggling mentally to a point that they cannot even play football. So you send them away, out of the limelight, out of the media attention, out of all of that stuff. They didn't even give us a lot of details about where he was, what he was doing. I knew where he was, that he was in the Netherlands or something, because I was seeing videos. We were seeing videos online of people recording and whatever. But I think Ten Hag did what he had to do. Did Sancho took some time to ease into the first team. But one thing I will say that the manager effed up at: don't spend the whole preseason playing a player in a certain position. I think one thing I will say as well about the Sancho situation, I thought it was clear as day that Sancho was going to leave in the summer. I genuinely thought he was going to leave, but it seemed like the club, not the manager, the club didn't want to get rid of him. So I feel like this whole situation now is a Ten Hag took it into his own matters. He don't want to play the player, and he's basically trying to find a way not to play him. And it's just kind of unraveled into this malarkey, if you want to call it that. But I just think, for me personally, the sooner that this Sancho saga is over, the better. I want him to go to Dortmund. I want him to do well. Yeah? I want him to go to Dortmund. I want him to do well. Yeah? I want him to have a successful career. I want him to have a successful career. I want him to do well. Want him to get back into the England team. Want him to go to, 2026 World Cup. He's still got a lot of competitions, by the way, that he could go with England. He's still got a lot of time. But also time is running. And not only is time running, there's people eyeing up that same position that you're eyeing up as a player. So he needs to turn it around. And who is it on? Who has control to turn it around? He does. He can go now to Dortmund, do well for 6 months. Every time he plays, grab that chance by the scruff of the neck, get a goal, get an assist, leave Dortmund with a good tally of goals and assists and whatever you want to call it across your 6-month loan. Come back to United, leave, because and the club know, this is not working. This is not working. So go somewhere else in Europe. He's adamant that he wants to play in Europe, because I'm not going to lie, guys, I still think he's of a talent that can play in Europe. I don't see, unless you're wanting a payout to go Saudi, I don't see logically why he would do that. So I don't think he's at a stage in his career where he needs to do that. So I would hope for him to go somewhere in Europe, do well, get back into the England team, play your football, and just do good. And what's going to happen? He will be another list of players that United will be like, oh, they didn't work out at United, but, look at them now. Di Maria is one that I hear all the time. Big up to Star-Lord, says, big up, Mina, big up, Star-Lord. Raz says, let's be real, though. Sancho has never been given a real opportunity to prove himself by Erik Ten Hag. I feel like I feel like it's similar to Maguire last season. I think it's similar to Maguire last season. I feel like with Maguire last season, inevitably, we knew that the manager did not want him. And I feel like this season, the manager's been forced to use him because there's nobody else. There was no one else available in that centre-back position. So the manager had to use him. What did Maguire do? Wait patiently, get his chance, get a fair run of games. That's exactly what he did. That's literally exactly what he did. Jadon Sancho has not been in that position this season. And I agree. I don't think Sancho has had a real opportunity of time under this manager, particularly. Under this manager, particularly, I don't think he's had a fair run of games. If we talk about, full 90s, let's have a look at this. Let's have a look at the full 90 minutes that Jadon Sancho has played. Hold on. Let's go. We're gonna look at it. Let's have a look at the full 90 minutes that he's played since. I'm gonna look at last season, then I'm gonna look at the season before that, yeah. Let's look at last season. Why is my internet so slow? What the hell? So he's but to be honest, I don't like looking at transfer market because a lot of it is it's not what's the term? It won't show you full 90. If I look at just Premier League last season, yeah, full 90 minutes that he had that big gap since he came back, yeah, from his time away. He only played 2 full 90 minutes. But to be honest, he played a substantial amount of 60 plus. He played a substantial amounts of 60 plus. Yeah. Since he came back in the Premier League, by the way, I'm talking about just the Premier League. He played 31 minutes against Leeds, 61 against Leeds again, half a game against Leicester. He didn't come on against Liverpool. Then from then onwards, he was playing 70 minutes plus consistently. The only game he didn't actually play consistent minutes was against Newcastle and Brighton and West Ham. But after that, it was 80 minutes here, 90 minutes here. He was in the starting 11 21 times last season. He was in the starting 11 21 times out of 30 times in the league. Do you know how... Let's look at overall. It's not showing me overall, unfortunately. But if we look at Europa League, he was in the squad 11 times and he was in the starting 11 6 times. So that's about 50% or just above 50%. FA Cup, he was in the starting 11 twice out of 3 times he was in the matchday squad. He started in the final, in the FA Cup final. He started in the final. EFL Cup, again, starting 11. He was in the squad twice and he came on as a sub twice. So if we look at it overall, he's actually had a fair run of starting 11 moments in the season last year. Obviously this season, I don't even know how many games he's played for us. I actually don't know how. He's played 3 games for us this season. He's played 3 games for us this season. And you know what? If you say to me he hasn't had a fair run this season, okay, cool. Out of those 3 games, he hasn't played 90. He hasn't even played half a game. He played 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there. That's it. But that's 3 games. I think that's a very small sample size to go off. If you go off the sample size of last season or the season before that, we see that he's had moments to start. He's had moments to start. So it's not... it's not really that bad. Boss Robo says it's working because Ten Hag doesn't. It's not working because Ten Hag doesn't like technical players. Star-Lord says, in my opinion, Sancho has had time to prove himself. Red Scare Claire says, if Jadon had made amends, he could be stealing Rashford's shirt right now. Riri says, Man U is a place where players come to kill their talent. But don't worry, guys. Ineos are going to fix it. Ineos are going to fix everything. They're here to fix everything. Ridwan says, Sancho has had 82 Man United appearances, 12 goals, 6 assists. Thank you for that Liverpool goal. I'll never forget it. That Liverpool goal. I know the bar is on the floor. Guys, the bar is very, very low right now. But I will never forget how that Sancho goal against Liverpool last season made me feel. And you know what? Let's talk about positive. Let's talk about some positive stuff, yeah? How did that goal make you guys feel? Because that made me feel so happy when he sat Van Dijk down, Alisson in no man's land. Come on, guys. You lot thought United's back. Let's be honest. We all thought United were back. Let's be honest. We all thought United were back. We thought Jadon Sancho, finally, big game player. Oh, I will never forget. You know, there's certain things that I associate with players at United. Like, I will never forget again how Anthony Martial made me feel when he came on and scored against Liverpool on his debut. That's another feeling I will never forget. You know, there's certain moments where you think, you had me there. You really had me there. I really thought that this was about to become something beautiful. That's another one. Anthony was playing crap only because he got him for 80 million and kept playing him. Plus, Sancho got better stats last year, played less minutes as well. Sidorf says you earn an opportunity and he hasn't. So the narrative that he has to be given a real opportunity is fake. How many years this fraud needs to settle? It's his third season. Koala says Eric Ten Hag is getting rid of technical players. He favors athleticism over technicality. Then we wonder why we can't string passes together or play Ajax football. It's why Onana and Anthony are playing bad. Let's be real, guys. Is he really favouring athleticism? Because I'm seeing man get barged off the ball. I'm seeing guys that can't run because they're not fit enough to run. So this narrative that he's favors athleticism over technicality, is this real? Because I feel like it's neither. I feel like there's no technicality and there's no athleticism. Because some of these players, they're not strong. We get bullied in midfield non-stop. Set pieces, we get destroyed. Like, come on. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Sancho reminds me of the student who messes about in class. Yeah, we got gaslit. Ridwan says, yeah, that goal was big because we were in the mud just before that game. That was the turning point, I think, for us at the beginning of last season, you know, that Liverpool game. Mourinho 4-0 FC2R, that one as well. When we beat Chelsea, I think it was on Eid Day as well. It was the first game of the season and it happened to be Eid Day. And I remember watching that game. Oh, that was a good one. What a banger that was. Almost copped all free jersey with his name at the back. I shamelessly did, guys. I've got so many Sancho shirts in my cupboard, guys. Oh my God. It's another one that I won't be able to wear. I have a lot. This is why I'm like, I think it was last year, I said I was not buying names of players on the back of shirts anymore. I have Ronaldo shirts. I have Sancho shirts. I've got so many Pogba shirts. It's only really what I've been doing the last couple seasons. Like before that, I never used to buy names on the back. I think the oldest one that I had a CR7 one from like 08 or something, or 07. I got a Nani one as well from 08 because he was my favorite player in that time when we won the Champions League. But I always used to just get my name or my surname on the back. But I don't know why. When we signed Pogba, I was like, yeah, let me get them all. When we signed Sancho, I said, yeah. When we signed Ronaldo, I said, yeah, look at that. None of them are going to be at the club next year. None of them. Goddamn. I got Cavani. I got Di Maria. To be honest, the year that we brought Di Maria, I brought a shirt and I put number 7 on it. But that was the year. If you remember, before we brought Di Maria, we were actually linked to Arturo Vidal, if you guys remember. And I was going to get Vidal on it, but something was telling me that we weren't going to get him. So I just got my name on it. And I remember one of my siblings got number 20 on their shirt because it's just after we won, you know, RVP brought us the 20th. But I'm glad I didn't get that Di Maria one. I was so close to getting it. So close. But I did not get it. Koala says Bruno is a runner, Mount is a runner, Maino is a runner, Rashi is a runner, Garnacho is a runner, Hoyland is being told to wrestle. Where's the technical ability there apart from Maino? I think are you saying that all the players that you've listed have no technical ability? I think it's unfair to put Maino in that. I think it's unfair to put Maino in that. To label Rashi as a runner when we complain about him not running back, that's ironic as well. I think that's ironic as well. I only do personalized because these players never stay long enough. Listen, I've learned not to fall in love with players because they're just gonna leave you. Look, big up to everyone. You guys know what it is. I was a bit late on stream, but I hope you guys can accept my apology. Where do we stand after this stream? Tomorrow's game. Let's quickly do a wrap up in terms of that. Listen, if United do not win tomorrow, yeah, I'm not gonna even come here. Guys, wallahi, I'm not gonna sit here and dissect the game, yeah, based on tactics I'm not going to sit here and dissect the game based on any formation and all of that nonsense. Wallahi, I'm not doing that. I swear to God, I'm not doing that. I will sit here and I will just say what everybody is hiding away from and shying away from. But that is a big if, because I think United should comfortably win. But also, what I will say is that it's not far-fetched for United to win tomorrow and then to lose to Spurs next week. It's not far-fetched. But can I just say, if United do win tomorrow, it's what's expected. So please, let's not sit here and praise players, praise the manager, praise everyone, because it's what we should be doing. It's honestly what United should be doing. The manager's job is to set the players up good enough for them to beat a League One team. And the players' jobs is for them to go out there and beat a League One team. That's it. Like, that's literally, like, the bar is on the floor. The bar is on the floor. Sidorf said, if we lose, I shave my beard. Sidorf has to come and do it on stream tomorrow. And listen, guys, I said if we get to 50 likes, if United lose tomorrow, I will come on stream wearing a Wigan shirt. I'll come on stream wearing a Wigan shirt. It's as simple as that. I've got one already, so I will come. I don't even want to. It's kind of framed and everything, so I'll take it out, all of that stuff. But that's what I'm saying on tomorrow's game. I'm not going to sit here and say this is who should start. I'm not going to sit here and be like, this is what should happen. But all I'm saying, United, you have to win tomorrow. Wallahi, you have to win. Ain't no way we're losing in a million years tomorrow. Ridwan, I hope this comment does not come back to bite us. I actually hope that it doesn't come back to bite us. We can do what other clubs can only dream. I can honestly say I don't expect anything tomorrow. That is sad. You know, that's been me the entire season, basically since about, I would say, maybe September, October. That first Galatasaray loss at Old Trafford, since then I've had no expectations, and I go into every game thinking, like, I don't know. Like, if you guys ever see me when I do previews on here, I say I don't know. Don't ask me for what a score prediction or anything, because I will just say I don't know. It's as simple as that, because unfortunately that's where we're at now this season. That's where we're at. And I'm being very honest, guys. I can't wait to, like, I love football. I enjoy football so much, but I'm staring at the end of the season through a tunnel, basically. And I'm thinking, just let me get there. Let's just get to the end of the season, because that's the point I'm at now. That's the point I'm at now. And I've been like that since actually October, unfortunately. Big up to everyone. You guys know what it is. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. You can join the membership club. It's the pinned comment in the chat. You get your badges. You get your emojis. You get your custom member content. And of course, you get to support the growth of this channel as a content creator, soon to be a full-time one as well. It's not easy, guys. It's not easy. But I do it with love and I do it with affection. And for the community that we're building here on this channel. It's as simple as that. Big up to everyone. I'll be back tomorrow after the game for a post-match stream. I might do a watch along. It's a big maybe. Big maybe. But if you want to, be sure to turn on your post notifications so that when I do go live, you lot will get notified. I hope you all have a wonderful Sunday night. You hear what Imran said. We must win. It's as simple as that. We've got a lot of content coming throughout the week. Streams with Saeed will be back this week as well, and as well as some other guests. So, you know, we're going to chop it up. Be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe, guys. Until next time, it's your girl, Mina. Peace.